Here we are, post-Labor Day. Another one of those May Day type holidays. It is Tuesday, the 4th day of September, 2012, and we're going to be live here for the next 3 hours. Wow, it's incredible that we are about to have another anniversary of September 11th rolling around. That is hard to believe, but time certainly keeps on slipping into the future. We are part of the past and the present, and we flow into the future. Okay, let me, just to do it justice here on this very important transmission, lay out for new listeners briefly what we stand for. There has always been a fight throughout history between the forces of good and the forces of evil. It really boils down to that. But evil has always been defeated long-term by good, and so corruption, despotism, oppression, thuggish behavior, bullying, wickedness has learned to camouflage its activities in a package of good, in a covering of good. But the globalists themselves that run this globe have written thousands of books and publications bragging about their plan and talking about how stupid you are. But those are academic level and trade publications and military publications and congressional publications and think tank publications. And they brag that you are stupid and helpless. Like sheep, you can't revolt against the practice of eating mutton, as one of their top minds said. And so they communicate in your face like vampires at your front door going, yeah, I'm knocking on their door. Yeah, they're going to open it and I'm going to tell them I'm a vampire, but they're not going to understand it. And they open the door and they go, hi, I'm a vampire. They're like, oh, well, I don't believe in those. Well, here, invite me in. We're here warning you that government's the most dangerous thing in history. We're here warning you, repeating what the founding fathers said, who were great minds and philosophers, and also quite brave. We're here seeing the same thing unfold again, but with a nightmarish high-tech overlay. The greatest crime of the globalists is that they want to play God, and they enjoy pulling down the existing order, which is very wholesome and very good. They are attacking the family. They are attacking the very biological and genetic nature of humanity. Because with the globalist, it's a race to see who is the most bold, who is the most bravada, hubris, chutzpah driven. And it is a program of madness. There is a method to the madness. It appears to be insane on the surface. Then when you see their actual policy reports, it makes sense. But it still comes from a place of insanity and deeply, twisted nature. And so it is insane within its full spectrum. The individuals running our society and our world do not have our best interest at heart and want to take us, in their own words, to a very, very dark place. They believe in social Darwinism to their absolute core. It is their religion. And social Darwinism is an idea adopted by the royalty and robber barons of Europe and the United States by the 1870s into 1900 or so, adopted worldwide in the industrialized world by the 1940s. It went underground after the bad experience of Hitler, who was a variant of it, but race-specific. This is not race-specific. This is a general coordinated attack on all of humanity. The globalists believe that they are introducing the danger stimuli that humans are lacking in an industrialized society. And so out of everything they're releasing and the very threat of destroying the earth, that the Superman will rise. They believe they are that Superman, and they say in their own philosophy, we quote top global leaders in my film Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement, that they will either become God or die trying, destroying the earth and solar system in the process. So that's where we stand. And once you understand this, you know what? You're not so much into football anymore. Once you understand this, you're not so much into your neighbors thinking you're really cool. I mean, sure, it's great to be friends with the neighbors, but you don't care if they hate you. You know what I mean? Once you realize that humanity has two roads to go down, absolute, incredible things that we can't even imagine, and our species developing into something just unspeakably wonderful, the eye has not seen, ear has not heard, but God has in store for us, or the road the transhumanist, a.k.a. neo-eugenicist, are taking us down. And I don't mean the transhumanism you see on the news or in pop culture that's real cool and fun. I mean the real thing they're building. Because the transhumanism and the technology we're being given is all a trapdoor, bear trap, sabotaged, Trojan horse, roaches go in, they don't go out, Judas goat, kill grid. Listen, you need to understand that the people we're dealing with are highly intelligent. On average, they have about 180 IQs. And you have to understand that when I was a child, I would read the piles of nonfiction and fiction books that my parents, absolute book-addicted people, were reading. And I noticed that what I was reading in science fiction books, I'd actually read in history books. It was just a history book written in a future context. And so by the time I was 10 years old, I'd read the Isaac Asimov Foundation series. And then I read transhumanist books by Aldous Huxley and Julian Huxley by the time I was about 13. And I was like, wait, these science fiction books are actually just a fictional write-up of what they're actually planning. And then so when I was reading Mein Kampf by Hitler, or I was reading Shearer's Rise and Fall of the Third Reich, or I was trying to read Gibbon's Rise and Decline of the Roman Empire at 15, or listening to it on books on tape, that's what I really started doing, was with a cassette tape, lifting weights and listening to it. And the point is that then I inadvertently stumbled in to what the intelligentsia were actually planning. And so from that perspective, because I broke into things that they were talking about and operating in as if we were blind and deaf and didn't see it or hear it. That's how I knew when Google was first set up 13 years ago. I went and looked it up and found out it was set up with NSA and CIA public funding. It wasn't a secret. It's just they knew you wouldn't look. Plus, everybody knows the CIA doesn't do that. Everybody knows the NSA doesn't listen to you without warrants. That would be a police state, wouldn't it? And so I read all of that. And I read the Foundation series, and then I found out that Isaac Asimov and his rules for synthetic machines, robots, he coined that term. I learned all of that actually had come out of the intelligentsia in New York and in different areas of Europe, and that they understood humans could basically build whatever we envisioned. And so he said in the, when did he write the Foundation series? In the 40s? Was it in the 30s? And they have machines and computers off mass movement data pickup that can predict the future. And then DARPA actually built it and has named a lot of it. I mean, it's gotten to the point where I can say, I bet they've named this after the Foundation series. And I go look it up, and there's a 1975 program by DARPA, and even mentioning Isaac Asimov to envision it, and then they build it. I mean, I can now think, because our brains are supercomputers as well, oh, they're doing this, and then go look it up, and what I just out of the ether knew they were doing, they're doing. I mean, folks, that is a great gift, but it's also an absolute stream of data that you can't even control or even try to fully comprehend it. When you understand, ladies and gentlemen, when did they write the Isaac Asimov Foundation series? I'll look it up. I get obsessed with a factoid. Yeah, your mic's not fully on, so you have to get right up on it. Okay, started writing them in 51. So I guess he wrote some of the other series earlier. The point is that you read that and then you realize it's all like a fictional account futuristic war game of what they're actually projecting are the type of things they're going to face. They even faced in there in later series like idiot savants who are able to counter them with just, you know, their own electromagnetic, electrochemical systems. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, the point is that Google now admits that they're government run and that they're predicting the future, but not just predicting it, shaping the future. And they're using all of this data to not just, again, predict the future, but to shape it. And then you find out it's not even being done to empower humanity. It's being done to hurt us. And it's being done to keep us back, to prepare us, to put us into a trance state, a jellyfish state, for orderly extermination. And then the globalists say, but yeah, look, we've told you all this, and look at the police. They're going to serve a system meant to destroy them. They deserve it. So you should join us, is the argument. I mean, it's unbelievably evil. Alex Jones here with a message that could revolutionize health in this country. Going back about 1.5 years ago, I began to learn about the incredible health effects of longevity products. Aaron Dykes lost 92 pounds. We're going to show you some before and afters. Aaron, break down what happened, your story.
I've worked really hard with diet and exercise to try to lose weight, but I just didn't get the results. It just didn't happen. Then I saw what you were doing with InfoWarsTeam.com. I wasn't even trying to lose weight, but I got it because I wanted to feel better energy. I wanted that nutrition. Didn't even understand how that could kickstart my own weight loss goals, but the products did that for me. I found myself suddenly losing weight, more energetic, wanting to exercise, wanting to eat the right foods.
And they don't even advertise it as weight loss. I want to challenge our radio listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com, sign up as a distributor, and get wholesale pricing discounts at InfoWarsTeam.com. The Foundation series actually got published in 42, or the first parts of it, in Astounding Science Fiction magazine. But it was really like a little soft-cover pulp fiction books that came out. The reason I know that is that's what I was reading. My dad had boxes after boxes of those. And I would read about computers that predicted the future off of mass movements and little chips and everything that tracked everything you were doing, and all your appliances tracked by the central computers, and one-child policies and eugenics. And, well, Aldous Huxley, who wrote Brave New World in 1931, published in 32. Mr. Huxley, he actually bragged before he died in 62. I've talked about this 100 times at Berkeley. You can hear the audio of the speech online. It's about an hour long. That, oh, my brother, you know, he works at the UN. He's the head of UNESCO. By the way, this is our plan. We're going to grow UN tanks, and we're going to end the family, and we're going to drug everyone, and we're going to establish a world government, and there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. 1931, wrote a book about suboid humans and genetic engineering, and, you know, first sterilizing us. How they get you to the point of Brave New World is by putting chemicals in the food and water that weaken the society. The society goes into crisis, runs to the government for help. The government runs all the mitigation programs to help counter the increased cancer and the infertility and the neurological disorders and all of it. And then they give you treatments that actually suck the money out of you, control you, while posing as the savior. And you read this stuff in transhumanist publications from the 50s. That's when they set that up out of eugenics. And Aldous Huxley's brother, Julian Huxley, bragged. He was the head of the Eugenics World Society. He said we're now going to call it transhumanism. Then I get transhumanists sending me messages saying, how dare you say we come from eugenics? I mean, that's just your founder. I'm just saying, not the popular transhumanism you follow, where you're flying around in jetpacks and live a million years and you're, a robot or whatever. You don't get to go into the future. Your history is governed. Your history is dominated. You're not part of that. Comprende? Compute? You understand that? Can you computate that? I mean, does it get through to your brain that here's the deal. You got royalty and rich robber barons that had already dominated most of the world 160 plus years ago. And they already believed they were inbred and godlike and better than you and actually had syphilitic brains, most of them, and were inbred. So they were incredibly intelligent, but also incredibly vicious. And so it made perfect sense when scientists came along and said, we've got to create artificial stimuli. We've got to dump disease into the cities and put poison in the water to put pressure on people to kill the weak so only the strong go forward. Malthus was right 100 plus years before. This is in 1850. In the 100 years before that, roughly, he was saying put people in compact cities, put poison, put bioweapons in, put stuff in the water to get rid of the poor. There's not going to be enough room. There are a bunch of cockroaches. Get rid of them. And so these ideas developed hundreds of years ago by people who, to a man, had syphilis, because the wealthy were into women, obviously, and syphilis was ubiquitous among the prostitutes. They had syphilis, so they were criminally insane, and they were inbred, and they already had aggressive, successful genetics. So you add syphilis and inbreeding to successful, hyperdominant genetics, you've got what these people are building. And there's another side to humanity, the good guys, who have always been mitigating and holding back some of this stuff. But the New World Order is when all of this comes in. It's when all of this happens. It's when the trigger gets pulled on all of it. The guys just put a, Associated Press headline up. It's everywhere. That, oh, yeah, the court upholds that the relationship between Google and the NSA is secret. But it's not secret. It was founded in the late 90s by the NSA and by the CIA on record. Go look it up. The current relationship is secret, but the Telecommunications Acts aren't secret. They've got hubs at every building and facility with everything going over it. I told you that in '96 because it was in the Telecommunications Act, not because I was a rocket scientist. It's all there. The plan's all there. Ask yourselves, what are you doing in this time of great challenge? What are you doing to unlock minds? I am attempting to take our operation to the next level because we've already had a serious effect on the globalists, and we have a responsibility to humanity and our ancestors to not let these inbred, insane technocrats take over. And that's why we are listener-supported. When you buy the books, the videos, the high-quality ProPure water filters, 10% discount with promo code WATER. When you buy all of that at InfoWarsStore.com, you make what we do here possible. So I want to thank all of you that visit InfoWarsStore.com. And whether you get the LifeStraw field water filters or whether you get the Dreams of My Father DVD on Obama's Real Providence, or whether you get the shower filters, or whether you get the T-shirts or the ball caps or any of it, that's what makes this broadcast possible, along with your prayers and also spreading the word. So please think about the site. I told you that at about, 60-something locations here in Austin, 66 locations, they refused the new newspaper/magazine. The 48-page, the last issue, the September issue, is on designed economic collapse. So we got about 3,500 extra copies. Most of them sold when I plugged them Friday, but we sold 36,000 of them in 36 hours. It's funny. It's 36,000, 36 hours. Held back 4,000 for people that when we do the subscriptions starting next month, so you can get the first month and the next 12. But of the 30-something hundred we had left that businesses didn't want out front, we have about half those left if you want them at InfoWarsStore.com. The 10-packs are all that are available right now. And you also have the InfoWars rack if you want to get a metal rack for them for your business. InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsShop.com. And again, we're also streaming video of this syndicated radio transmission at prisonplanet.tv. That's prisonplanet.tv. And you have the daytime radio show, InfoWars Live there every day, noon to 3 Eastern. Then you have the nightly news. That'd be 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. It goes out with myself and the rest of the crew. We now have 5 of the reporters here. We now have Linda West. We now have Jakari Jackson, Melissa Melton. We now have David Ortiz. We also have Dan Badandi. And soon we're going to get David Knight down here in the next few months. He's got to shut down his business up there and move down here from North Carolina with his family. And it is a very stressful but also energizing time here. As promised, we're trying to just put everything we've got into the fight against these people. And you're supporting us when you purchase the books, the videos, all the stuff at InfoWarsShop.com, and also click on our sponsors. And we couldn't do this without others out there that are also supporting what we're doing. So I want to thank everyone in the alternative media, in the media, the AM and FM radio stations, the different websites and news sites out there that support us. Thank you so much, because I am on a mission. I am on a mission. I am on a mission. And you know, going back 6 years ago, I made the decision to start expanding instead of just having 6 or 7 crew members and staying small. I realized I had a responsibility because we were already having such a big effect to expand. And as we've expanded exponentially, we've reached more people. I will tell you, we're hurtling straight into full frontal confrontations with the globalists, all sorts of weird stuff going on behind the scenes. But that's what happens when you go in, through, and beyond. I mean, we're going into the black hole here, ladies and gentlemen. And when you support us, you put fuel in our engine to get maximum speed to go into that thing. And that's our only hope, is to hit it going 110 miles an hour. And that's what we're doing right now. We're a runaway locomotive going head on to their locomotive. And all that matters is we stop them. And that's what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen. But we need your help, your prayers, and your support in the info war if we're going to fire these torpedoes down the reactor shaft. And we can do it, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to be committed. We've got to realize that there is no way back. We must defeat the globalists. It's us or them. Now, I'm going to hit a bunch of news, and then I'm going to open the phones up. We don't have a guest for the last 30 minutes of the show, even if we... Did we get Mike Adams on short notice? We did. Fantastic. So that is all coming up. I kind of went off into the transhumanism and the big picture. I mean, where this goes, why all this is happening, why you turn on the television and it's pure anti-family, anti-liberty, anti-freedom messages. I mean, that ought to scare the daylights out of everybody. And by scare you, I mean not scare you into hide in your house. Call it scare you into action. People say, man, you scare people. You're trying to scare them. I think people that think that I'm trying to scare them don't get it. This is happening. I'm here telling you it's happening. Because I believe that when you understand that your children are being targeted with radiological, chemical, and biological and genetically engineered garbage to hurt them, you're going to get angry and start doing something about it. And that's what I've been doing for 17 years. And I have done an amazing, amount of work, and it's had an effect, and so have you. But we need to understand that we've got to grab the New World Order by the arm, politically, economically, socially, and pull the veil aside. That means pull their arm out of their socket. Because they've got their hand over our eyes trying to keep people from waking up. We got to grab them by the arm, and they're going to squeal, they're going to complain, they're going to say we're wrong, they're going to act like we don't have power, they're going to stonewall us. We got to go, you know what, go ahead and stonewall us. Oh, you feel that? Oh, you don't like that, do you? Watch this. And just decide to pull their arm out of their socket. Okay, that's what I liken it to. Rip their arm out of their socket. Don't stop. They're not going to give us quarter. We're not giving it to them. And the weapon system of the truth is a weapon system that will destroy our enemies. Because their own servants and minions are compartmentalized, and most of them think they're doing a good job. Higher level are evil control freak mercenaries who think that they're on the winning team but don't understand this is the total destruction of humanity as we know what we're talking about here. This is inbred psychopaths given godlike power, playing God, whose prime directive is to kill, steal, and destroy. Whether you believe in God or not, I'm telling you, that is who they are. That is what they stand for. Whether it's true or not that there's a spiritual entity behind it doesn't matter for those of you that don't understand. It's real. It's there. You must admit it. What is in the Bible is now unfolding. That's what matters. What matters is this is happening. What matters is we are entering this zone. What matters is history is being decided right now. Now, let me just read to you. I've never done it before on air. I'm doing it today. I'm not going to comment on these headlines. I'm going to just read them to you. This is not even the most important news. I'm going through this just right to left. Official, Iran would take action if U.S. attacks Syria. Reuters. Al-Qaeda leader strikes deal with U.S. Saudis to send 5,000 fighters to Syria. Yemen jihadists personally trained by bin Laden. Paul Joseph Watson. 19 signs that Israel and Iran are on the verge of war. The American dream. True or psyop, U.S. won't ratify UN treaty that could have outlawed civilian firearms ownership. NATO terrorists to target Syrian civilian airports. Political stack. Hill poll. Voters say second term undeserved. Country is worse off. Obama is behind in polls across the board. Emanuel cutting short trip to Democratic National Convention. The rats are leaving the sinking ship. John King, to win, Obama must make history again. Yeah, and what do their advisors say? Staged terror attack. Now Obama must build the case for government. Gideon Reichman, who openly calls for world government in the Financial Times of London. He's their foreign editor. He goes on to admit what's destroyed Obama was admitting he's a Marxist and saying he hates business owners. Obama, and he's saying he's got to own it now and admit that he believes in big government. Very disgusting. That guy's a Bilderberg Group member, by the way. True nasty one. Obama camp not worried about vetting Bill Clinton's speech. Yeah, because the Clintons run the Obamas. Reporters scolded by Democratic garbage police for not throwing them in the proper recycling area. Yeah, that's the new priesthood. Record high Labor Day gas prices greet Democrats in Charlotte. Hope you enjoy your anti-energy policies. KCBC exclusive. California Dem leader compares GOPs to Nazis. Joseph Goebbels. And it just goes on from there. Paul Ryan, you are not better off now. No, because it's a design plan. Ryan compares Obama's record on economy to Jimmy Carter. Bingo, that was the plan all along. All scripted, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, even some of these guys don't know it. They're that delusional and think they actually have the power. Okay, let's continue here. Obama, military option remains on the table. Ynet News out of Israel. Chuck Norris threatens 1,000 years of darkness if Obama wins. That video's up at Infowars.com right now. Let's continue here. Miss Obama's second-term agenda, impact nature of food in grocery stores. But not pesticides, not hormones, not GMO. No. Sugar and fat is bad. Not even saying good fats versus bad fats. Just the government's going to run what you eat. You see Bloomberg with the whole nanny state agenda. Here's another nanny state. Deaf preschooler in Nebraska told to change his sign name. His name is Hunter, and in international sign language, it's the sign of a gun. You can't make the sign of a gun or write about guns even in high school or they arrest you. That's total thought crime beyond 1984. Look what we've become. Stanford scientists cast doubt on advantages of organic meat and produce. This was in hundreds of newspapers last night and today. Total propaganda. But you read the fine print, they go, oh, but that's not counting pesticides, herbicides, chemicals, synthetic vitamins, all the rest of it, depending on what it's grown in. And, of course, hormones. No, organic is bad. You don't want it. It's a ripoff. Don't eat it. A McDonald's cheeseburger is the same thing as a wheat organic with grass-fed beef. They actually say all that. They say grass-fed beef is no better than feedlot fed on offal, other ground-up dead animals. Total baloney, but they don't care. Study sees no nutritional edge in organic food. That's USA Today, New York Times, Stanford scientists. Oh, they're the ones that learned how to control hurricanes by '67 and certified it. Cast doubt on advantages of organic meat and produce. total eugenics facility, as important as DARPA-based MIT. Organic food no healthier than non-organic study, Reuters. But it's funny, I pulled up the articles here where, in fact, I had that in my IMs, but I don't see it. You guys may want to check that, where I sent you the articles where Monsanto, at their own facilities, same thing with Bill Gates' facilities, eats nothing but organic. The Chinese elite only eat organic. Look at these articles. Government threatens jail time for growing produce in front yard garden. New articles on that. EPA changes rules to allow more toxic cleaning chemicals in mainstream food. Live viruses being sprayed on mainline store-bought beef. Don't believe me, just type viruses sprayed on, it eats the bacteria. I mean, it's a vaccine they spray on the food. I mean, oh, but it's no problem, no different. Okay, boom, let's move on to the next stack. I'm into 3 stacks now. We're on to stack number 4 here. This is drudgereport.com. Top right-hand side was the top story yesterday. Stick it. Now TSA testing drinks purchased inside airports. Told you about that a year ago, but now they're doing it in all airports. As you walk out of the Starbucks, in front of them, they don't go test the Starbucks in there. It's meant to be nonsensical. They come over and have everybody have their water tested, their Starbucks tested, their food tested. They stick little sticks in there. They're getting you used to medicalizing. Federal funding to take your blood at highway checkpoints. Federal funding to have them stick stuff in your drink. I told you this 14 years ago, but they never implemented it under executive order to take blood to get a driver's license. Now in D.C., they give you a free driver's license if you let them take blood. Next, it'll be mandatory. Just setting up the idea of a clinic. That's all this is people in gloves. Well, they dress kind of in a medical outfit. This is admitted. Psych warfare. It's a domestication process to get you used to them shining a laser on your face to see if you have the flu or a laser thermometer, sticking things in your drinks, touching your breast, running their hands through your hair. When my wife runs her hands through my hair, I get tingles. When my wife grabs me, I get tingles. You know, the woman I love and I've had 3 children with. But they're like, oh, it's no big deal to have a stranger grab your genitals and squeeze them. It's normal to have Congress people having their genitals grabbed. Jesse Ventura's bad because he doesn't like his genitals being grabbed by a laughing person at Atlanta airport in front of me, checking to see if his testicles are his testicles. This is what we've become. Total psych warfare. Hiring TSA, running their backgrounds, finding out they're felons and hiring them. And now, checkpoints at public events becoming normalized. Both linking to Infowars.com articles. The video is incredible. It's since already rolled off the front page of Infowars.com. Just go to drudgereport.com and it's the right-hand 2 top stories. Watch that video for yourself. And the people get off on it. It's a ritual. The TSA walks up, they've got their water, their Starbucks right there, at the seats at the airport. They've gone through the checkpoint. The TSA walks over these women with these satisfied looks, just getting off on making people comply. People that wouldn't have been able to have been, trash collectors. Because that's a hard job. People that wouldn't be able to hold a job doing anything. Now they get to be minders. See, these are women that should have had kids. Women that should have been running a household, in a role that would have fulfilled them. Instead, and this is how it is, the new nanny state is these women who guaranteed never had kids. And they come over, and you're now their child. You're now the 2-year-old. And these yuppies just with pleasure smile and go, here's my water. Here's my Starbucks I just bought 20 feet away. And then, oh, yeah, government, with dirty gloves and who knows what, stick something in my drink. Get used to something being medically done. Stick something in my drink. Again, total psych warfare. We're going to be getting more into that. Activists put on terror watch list to prevent him protesting DNC. And I looked at the links this morning and on the mainstream news, WCO TV and others, WSOC TV, and I couldn't find why they made the fake arrest. Usually they put fake bullets in your bag or claim you did something to, drag you off if you're on the no-fly list. He was going to protest, and they just said, well, we arrested him, and it shows because protesting is listed as terrorism. And Paul has their official form in here, and it says attacking the Pentagon. They call it low-level terrorism, so they give a high-level terror attack a low-level name. IEDs. So if you attack the Pentagon, that's small. IEDs is low-level. Hate crimes against racial groups. And then they just add protest. See, they take things and then so that's why they call people that blow up the Pentagon extremist. And then when you protest big government, they call that extremist. The brain picks it up both ways. You understand? It's a way to call you a terrorist without calling you a terrorist. But now they just call you a terrorist. Protesting's terrorism. So they said, we're holding him and we want him held till the DNC's over at the local jail. That's the feds saying, hold him in a jail. See, that's the new NDAA being rolled out against us nationwide now. That's what's going on, is we're just getting used to, as I told you, at the airport and then at highway checkpoints, you're going to be on a list. No judge, no jury, done nothing wrong, and it's a pickup list, and you disappear. But see, this time, the lawyers got involved and got him out. But see, this is what they're doing. They're just racing ahead with the disappearance. Then once people know people are disappearing, they won't be picked up by the police. That will then cause violent confrontations. Then the civil war starts. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.